Well, this is where it all began in 1965, where the crusade for the seals, for which you've been such an important part, started. When I came here first so many years ago, the ice that I see now, pristine and clean, was streaked with blood. There were 5, 6 large ice-breaking vessels. There were hundreds of men killing seals. It was a scene of carnage. Now it's peace on ice. And it's peace on ice because you helped me with what came to be known as a crusade for the seals. Now, you can't be here. I wish you could. So the best way I have of saying thank you is to take you with me on a filmed walk with the seals on the ice floes 90 miles north of Prince Edward Island. Come on, join me. Harp seals make their home in many parts of the Atlantic. The ones I'm going to take you to today are just north of Prince Edward Island on the east coast of Canada in the Gulf of St. Lawrence. We'll go by helicopter. It's the only really practical way of getting to the seals. It's early morning on Prince Edward Island, and it's cold. But we're dressed for it. Prince Edward Island is a flat, sandy expanse just in the southern part of the Gulf of St. Lawrence, and it blends in with the ocean. If it wasn't for the trees, you wouldn't know where Prince Edward Island ended and the Gulf of St. Lawrence started. But here we are, pack ice. We head north to the Magdalen Islands that lie like a pendant right in the heart of the Gulf of St. Lawrence, and there we'll find the seals. Now, this is my world. I love the ice. I've been to it each spring for more than 20 years. And it's a vivid, white, in many ways hostile, but oh so lovely moonscape. I can't wait for March when I get back out there with the seals. You see below you there, open water, because the ice is free floating ice on the surface of the sea. As the sea moves, the ice moves. And there we see seals. Dark spots of life on the white expanse. The ice stretches for hundreds of miles in every direction. It's a perfect, pristine white. Hear the crunch beneath my feet? No one's walked on that ice ever. It's new. We're actually sitting on sea ice, and I would suppose the water here is about 120 foot deep. The ice, as you can see, is about 2 to 3 feet thick, and it forms as the bitter Canadian winter chills the surface of the Gulf of St. Lawrence. That colder water sinks down into the bottom of the ocean, and the warmer water cycles back up to the top. And this process keeps on until the essentially the ocean is just slightly below freezing, a little below 32 degrees. And at that point, the fresh water in the ocean leaches out the salt and freezes. And what we have essentially is freshwater ice. The salt is not in the ice. And it's on this relatively stable platform, as far south as it can come from the Canadian Arctic, that the harp seals have their pups. The harp seal and her pup, two of the loveliest animals in the world. In fact, if you listen carefully, you can hear a pup cry now, because there are two of them just over the ice there. Aren't they natural actors? Look at that little pup. About 10 days of age, weighs about 30 pounds. There's Mom. You can see why they call them harp seals, as if you stretch your imagination a bit, that's a harp on her back. Look, they love the snow. And they know we're friends. The white hair captures the rays of the sun and pulls it down to the skin of the animal, enabling them to keep warm in a very hostile environment. The adult seals use the claws you see on the front flippers for going over the ice. They dig in. The back flippers are used like oars to drive them through the water. Superbly adapted animals. They can live in an environment of ice and an environment of water. Mother seals spend most of their time under the water, but like all good mothers, they don't forget the babies. Every few minutes, they come back out of the water, check the pup, and look around for danger. That little fellow wants to be fed. But life for a mother seal isn't all work. This little fellow is white coat. He's about, 10 to 12 days old. And in a couple of days, he'll be over there in that little piece of open water that you see swimming with his mother. And by the end of March, he'll be starting a round trip of about 6,000 miles that will take him up to the Arctic and back to these ice floes again in a year's time. 23 million years ago, the ancestor of the animals that you see here left the land and went back to the water to live. But they must find ice once every year to have their pup. The opportunity of witnessing the birth of a harp seal pup is very rare. I've known people who have spent a lifetime on the ice and never seen it. As the young seal breaks free, she'll twist around and smell it. Got it. She'll know that pup from all of the other thousands of pups on the ice whenever she captures that smell again. This is a healthy little pup. Weighs about 15 pounds. Pretty cold out there. But he has fat that he'll immediately start to burn to give his body heat until mother can get enough milk into him that he builds up his own protective layer of blubber. Smells another pup, not hers. We call them yellow coats. Their coat is stained yellow by the fluid in the mother. Nose to nose, she'll know that baby again wherever and whenever they meet on the ice. I call this the seal nursery. The mums identify their pups by smell and by sound. When they're close, by smell. When they're distant, by sound. She's lost her pup. There he is. She doesn't know it. She's going to check all of the pups in her vicinity. Hard work dragging that 300 pounds around. No, you're not mine. Come on, Mom. She's getting frantic. Pups can get trapped in moving ice and never be found. And the mothers care when they can't find the pups immediately. Still looking, really concerned. Coming close. She's got him. She rolls over. She wants him to feed. She also wants him to follow her away from that pressure ridge. Baby seals can get trapped in pressure ridges. She's looking for a safer piece of ice. He follows her. The mother seal's milk is rich in fat, about 50%. She'll feed that little animal until he grows to the kind of size that you see here. This pup is partially molted. I call him a raggedy jacket. And he's anything from 80 to 100 pounds in weight. He's a big boy. Nursery time's over. Our little white-coat friend is a big boy now, and it's time to learn to swim. But the water is cold. And I don't think he's really terribly keen about taking the plunge. But Mom has got to get him down there. Here he goes. Ooh. Can you feel that? I can. I've been under with the seals. I know what it feels like. Chilly. That little seal, probably weighs about 80 pounds, and most of it's fat, and he's very buoyant. It's difficult for him to get down into the water. Kind of bobs around on the top like a little cork. But he's perfectly at home, you can see that. No fear, no fright. But where's one? Ah, there she is. It's clear how much those animals love each other. You've seen some of the wonders of the ice and the harp seals above the ocean. Now I want to take you to a world I think that's even more wonderful. The world beneath the ice. The real home of the harp seal. It's a world where pressure ridges reach down 70 to 100 feet. A world of mysterious caverns and tunnels of ice. And it's where the harp seal lives. And it's where we'll go now. It's dangerous, diving under the ice. I need a tender and I need a rope. The rope is to find my way back to open water if the ice closes above me. That's the Brian Davies Icebreaker Special. Here we go. The ocean world under the ice is so utterly magnificent that no words that I have can adequately describe it. Sometimes the seals will let you pet them. Sometimes they get very feisty. Let's see what they... Oh, we've got a feisty little fella here. Hello, hello. We have a feisty little fella. Hi, 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 how are you? You were all right a minute ago. Well, I guess he owns the ice, so we better leave him have it. As fascinating as the seals is the ice itself. A few months from now, people will be swimming in this water. The ice will have melted. Next winter, it will recreate itself again. And what you have to understand is that the ice I'm walking on now, in shape and form, is exactly the same as the ice that has come to the Gulf of St. Lawrence every year for millions of years. And for many of those years, used by seals, just like this, to have their pups. Isn't she lovely? It's my dream, you know, to have many people come to the ice, to make the visit of the seals to the Gulf of St. Lawrence a spectacle enjoyed by so many people all over the world that there will be no possibility of a mass slaughter of baby seals ever starting again. How could anyone kill a baby seal like this? I feel like a king right now. It's difficult to convey in words what one feels on the ice floes here. You can see it by film, but of course that's different from being actually on the scene. It's just the myriads of colors and shapes of each ice floe. It's the absolute beauty of the baby seals in particular, the poetry of motion of the mother seals in the water. It all creates a canvas of nature, I think, at its very best. It diminishes man. You really feel your place in the world when you're here on the ice, so alone, so far from everywhere, so small. It makes you feel very, very small. Well, it's the end of a perfect day on the ice. Time to go. I'm glad that you could share the wonders of the seal nursery with me. But I'll be back next year and every year for the rest of my life, because the seals are my life. Now, for the first time, really for centuries, this winter wonderland, this magnificent seal nursery, resounds to the joyous cries of seals, not the thuds of the clubs. If we never do anything else with our lives, you and I, we achieve something really worthwhile. It looks as though we have saved the seals.